we're back. I actually just started a new video. This time, okay, so what we're trying to do is we're figuring out why. Well, we're getting a lot of different errors here, and this is like, I mean, they're some of them are just logic errors, some of them are game enders. So we'll try to figure out. Try to do one thing at a time here. First off, I want to figure out why it ends up selecting the wrong team. This is just weird. Like, this is just absolutely ridiculous. Because that just does not make sense. Like, that just completely blows my mind. I mean, I don't see how that could possibly be happening. Unless something in here is somehow managing to take something from the other teams. So, I don't get it. I really have no clue, actually. That was quite the cliffhanger, and then, well, not really, but it was still a cliffhanger. And then you come back, and I have no idea what to do. It was on, it's when the character tries to select. Which is weird, it shouldn't even be doing that. There are a lot of things happening here. Okay. I see where the problem is. Well, at least I see one of the problems. Right here. I'm removing the character from the list of teammates, and I'm also removing it from the list of characters. What happens is, maybe I'll just paint really quick to illustrate this. I have this list of, here's like Team 1, and here's Team 2. And here's the list of all the characters, you know, we have a whole bunch of those. The way this works, this actually points to a position in this list, and, you know, like that, you know? Which is all very confusing, and, you know, etc. When somebody dies, what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, you died. I'm moving you here, and I'm removing you from here. And that's fine, but this guy well, more importantly, let's say like this guy dies, okay? And this guy's pointing to, let's say, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say this guy's pointing like, this is what, 6 or something, you know, and this says 6 in it. And when this guy dies, it gets removed from both sides, right? So what happens is, the numbers above here, like they get shifted down, and it no longer actually means the same thing. So like all these other guys, like everybody, you know, everybody else on the list, they suddenly actually have different IDs, even though it doesn't know it. And what I have to do is actually, I might have to make it so that when I delete a character, it actually goes through and fixes the list of teammates. And actually what that really means is, let me get a drink. Maybe I should edit that out. What that actually means is I might have to do this completely differently than when I'm doing it. The way I'm doing it. Which is awful, of course. Okay. I'll have to think of a better way to do this. I mean, that's all there is to it. I like the idea. I like having the lists of teams, but what I might have to do, well, since I've gone ahead and made them into two different, like, into one, well, matrix, really. One, you know, size 2 list over here, like, because of how I've made the, teams. what I might have to do, I might have to not have a whole list of characters. I have to though, you know. But I could. I mean, I could use the teams as the list of characters, you know. I have to think about this. I might have to edit this out. In fact, I'm gonna pause it. And I've never used this either. I'm gonna laugh when this screws up the video. I think it's F3. I can pause the recording. Oh boy. That's okay. I haven't actually done anything yet. Okay. I'm back. I sat and thought for a second. Here's what I'm gonna have to do. Okay, basically, right now it has one big list of characters, and it also has it has one matrix with basically a list of two lists for each team. And what happens is it gets all screwed up when somebody dies, and I remove them from that big list. But that big list is barely even used. I mean, I wanted to look at a thing on the hypercam, but it didn't show up. And then I want to make sure it was recording. I guess that means it's recording. It gets these huge issues when somebody dies and I remove the list. Technically, the list isn't actually used for anything. It refers to it because that's the big list of everybody's ID. It might be better to just put their ID into the team that they're in. So I'm going to change it to that, and I guess you're going to get to watch. I might edit this out because it's going to be a lot of just doing. I'll try to talk about it as I go. So right now, when you create a character, it runs this script. And it creates an instance at the given instance of a character, at the given coordinates. And then it takes the ID of that character and stores it into the list of characters. What I'm going to do instead, it still returns I. And I'm going to have to, so there won't be an my ID anymore. So I'm going to comment all that out. And I commented out so that when I realize this was a dumb idea for whatever reason, I can come back and make it work again. But we'll comment that out for now, and we'll come back into, here's where it adds a character to a player. This is where it adds a character to a team, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna comment out the part that refers to the character list. I'm gonna instead assume that it gives it the instance ID. I'm gonna do that for all of these, because that's not even gonna be a thing in the end. The best part is what I end up doing is when I do something like this where I remove a variable from the game, I end up having to basically comment it out of wherever it's created, so that every time it's I can't necessarily find every single solitary place where I've used this variable, so I'll have to comment it out of creation, and then I'll have to comment it out of creation, and then every time it's used in the script, it'll crash and it'll tell me where it was used. So I'll just there. Now it's gone. Vanished. It's magic. And then that's going to crash if I try to do anything really at this point. I'm gonna have to go through each and every one of these and find every instance where it says chara list, which is a lot. Instead of saying chara list, I just bumped the mic because I scratched my face. Instead of saying chara list, we're gonna say just the team. Oh, it's all over the place, of course. I'll just, I feel like I should just backspace it out, but I know that'll just cause problems. This is taking forever, though. You know what, maybe I'll just pause while I do this, because it's really going to be boring, and I can't think of anything to say about it. Let's hope, I've already done that once this video, and if this video gets destroyed, then, hell, maybe nothing will happen in the video anyway. Nothing ever happens. Okay, I've gone through and done a bunch of these, but I'm definitely not done. But I wanted to come back and talk about this little issue I'm having here. Okay, this is where this sort of thing gets complicated. I'm trying to remove this variable because I don't want to use it anymore, but this guy uses it, and it uses it in force. It actually goes through the entire list of characters. And this is where this is a problem. Basically what I did was I said, okay, if the guy that you're looking at isn't on your team, it goes through the entire list and it says only if it's an enemy, and it says if this guy is on the player's team, then target them. That's great. I might have to completely change this. Well, for now, I know exactly how it's going to work. So, for now, we're assuming we know that it's an enemy that we're looking at, and we know that this is an enemy that's doing this, and we know that he's on team 1, and that the player's characters are all on team 0. So we can say, instead of numchars, which isn't even going to be a thing either, game.team 0, 0. So that's the actual, and actually since it actually started at 1 in that case, and has to be less than or equal to, because of how I did that, which actually I'm kind of regretting now, but that's okay. It's just one of those little quirks I'll have to deal with. It's better than, well, I already have to go through and change a lot of stuff. I don't want to change another stuff. So what we're going to say is team 0, comma, I, over here, etc. We're going to do that everywhere we did this. And then it should, now the enemies should be able to target again. Let's just check if, I bet I can find another place where I have to change this though. Well, even if there's nothing in here, I'll bet there's something in some of these. Oh, well. Right, because I have separate. Why is it add to player, add to team? Oh, well, because, yeah, right, because it has to, well, back to this. I guess I'll stop again. See you in a minute. I appear to have eradicated all of the instances of Charlist. I think, like I said, I've got it commented out so that on where it's created is no longer, well, created. So in theory, if anything actually does use it still, oh, I found it. I didn't see that down there. One last one. Like if I'd run it and it had gotten down to that line, it would have said, oh, what the heck are you talking about? And I would have been able to find that in the script there and fixed it. But I fixed it there instead, so we don't have to watch that. I don't know whether this is going to work at all. I've removed them all. In theory, it should work. At least I've removed every instance of it, so it should be looking at the actual instance ID should be in the team list, not in that character list where it then has to reference it. But I don't know if this is going to work. Let's find out. Okay, see. This is a problem. The bad guys are on the player team. At least they think they are. So let's see what a character does to figure out what team it's on. Okay. Okay, I know what's happening. It's running create new character, and it's returning I, and that's fine. Actually, what I could do is I could do this. Okay, so it's running create new character. That's fine and dandy. And it's returning the instance and it's saying add player 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that, instead of their instance number, which I forgot to fix. So now I just had to fix this so that it does that instead, and that should actually finally fix this problem. I actually grabbed his parentheses there. Boop, boop, boop. You had to watch me this time because germs killed the Martians. I don't know. There we go. I don't sound anything like Morgan Freeman. So, okay, now they're bad guys. Yay. And everything's working so far, but let's watch as something fails, because it will. It always does. Oh, there we go. Oh, hey, I found one. I swear, I thought I'd... Oh, it's trying to do remove... I know why. I left the script in. I didn't even think to remove it from where it's used. But I left that script in, and it references that variable that doesn't exist anymore. So I just had to //. So when they're removed from the team now, they're removed from the game. As far as the game's concerned, they don't exist anymore. Although they're still in the game. They're just invisible and unselectable. Hopefully. This might fix all those problems I was having before. All of them. Or it'll not fix anything, or it'll bring up new errors while still having the old ones, or... Let's see what happens. Oh. Oh. Can I not select that guy? I can't. Unknown variable size. See, it's getting the same issue. Because we got here's the team 0 selected. It's trying to say that guy dot size, and it's thinking that the it's got to be looking at the wrong instance, because the only reason that can happen is if it's looking at an instance that doesn't have that variable. So I have to go through and figure out why that might happen. We haven't had the negative index array thing happen. Negative array index. I mean, but that doesn't mean it won't happen again. Could always just get rid of this. I mean, that was just a formality, really. I thought I'd gotten all my face scratching out of the way while I was paused. Okay, let's see. Should be going through the whole list of characters in that team, and for each, moving it down one. Well, so the one that was there is gone. That should work, but it doesn't. When a character dies, it is removed. Maybe this video's gone too long. Oh, considering how much I actually removed from it, that's kind of surprising. Well, it's not quite 20 minutes yet, but I'm having trouble thinking, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's kind of the point was to document my process or something. I don't know what really the point was to this, but I'm still doing it, obviously. But I'm having trouble thinking of what to do here. I have to get it. Maybe I should put it in so that I should tell it to tell me what that variable is when it gets to that point. Because what it's doing is it's having trouble because it select everybody now, and then when somebody dies, I won't be able to. He's gonna die. Can I select him? Everybody's selectable now. He's dead. Can I select him? Can I select him? Well, it's working a little better, hell. It is actually working better than it was before. Like, I got that far, and I wasn't able to make it that far before at all. But I know that I'm going to get problems with, like, you know, a certain guy dies at a certain place. You know, if this guy, if I launch him forward, so that everybody attacks him and kills him really quick. I'm showing about it won't be able to select somebody. See? This guy right here. Oh, see, I can't select him. It selects that guy instead. Just weird problems like that. Seemingly inexplicable, but probably quite explicable. If I could sit here and figure it out. Maybe I'll end this video here, tell you to subscribe if you want to find out what I do, because next video I'll probably have it solved, because I want to sit here and think about it without having to talk to you about it for a little bit. And then we'll come back, and next time I'll actually show you what I ended up doing. And yeah, until next time.